Hello YouTube, my name's Marie and today we're going to talk about the first 4 episodes in Clean with a Passion for Now. Yes. Clean with a Passion for Now is a currently airing K-drama. At the time of this recording there is 4 episodes out. I've watched everything that's available. I'm going to just tell you about characters because knowing about the characters is going to basically tell you everything you need to know about the show, because plot-wise the show is nothing surprising. It's going to go exactly the way you think it's going to go. Our female lead is a very average girl. I'm gonna guess early 20s, maybe even 19. No, she drinks. So, and I believe the drinking age in Korea is like 21. So I'm gonna guess she's 21. And she ends up getting a job at a cleaning company. I believe they're called like Cleaning Fairies or something, and I love that name. If you watched my video about my least favorite tropes, you will know that one of the character archetypes that I really dislike is the slob, and that is because when someone is living in a disaster, like with dishes everywhere and garbage everywhere, like it makes me feel sick. Like I don't understand how someone could function in that area. So I guess in that respect I relate a lot more to the male lead of this show, and the male lead is a complete germaphobe, but the extent to which he does things I think is a little bit over the top and points to me of some sort of mental illness. The end of episode 4, I think they're starting to go in that direction where they're highlighting the fact that his behavior is not normal, and I don't think it's healthy. So he's an extreme, whereas our female lead is not an extreme. So I appreciated that because that was a concern for me. I knew going in that if it was an example of a show with 2 extremes, I wouldn't be able to watch it just because I can't handle the slob. I can't handle slobs. The first episode was very difficult for me to watch. I've mentioned in the past where I get like sympathetically embarrassed. Like if something is happening to a character, I relate way too much to that. So I actually fast forward twice in the first episode because something was happening that was just so gut-wrenchingly embarrassing that I couldn't handle it. I was like, I gotta tap out of this situation, and I jumped forward like a minute or so. It also happened a little bit in the 3rd or 4th, but it gets so much better after the first episode. Grew to like the characters, whereas in the beginning, in the first episode especially, and then also in the second episode a little bit, I didn't find any of them particularly interesting, but by the end of the 4 episodes I'm invested, particularly in the female lead, because I think she's a very interesting and complex character, and she just seems like she's got a lot of layers, and I'd like to explore them more, like going forward. There's a lot of scenes where I think to myself, this could have been a very flat scene with like a B-level actress, but she is doing a great job, and personally I believe she is the best part of this show so far. Everything else about it is B-level. It's still an enjoyable time, but it's not incredibly high quality. I definitely think the male lead, well, there is moments where I think, wow, you're a really good actor. For the most part, he's doing things too over the top to be taken seriously. And there's a character like that, obviously it's being played for laughs, but for me, I just feel very distant from it because I'm like, you're basically a living cartoon. You know, if I wanted to read the webtoon, I would just go read the webtoon. So I wish the directing was also being over the top, because then it would balance itself out. Like, I was thinking about how great it would be for the show to show people's germs or like someone's crumbs on their faces and like show it from the male lead's perspective. Like, we see the crumbs on their face and we know that that's not really that bad. But wouldn't it be great to have a moment where you see it realistically and then the next scene or like the next shot shows the crumb like incredibly bigger, like much more domineering and like disgusting, and that could show how the male lead is interpreting that crumb on the face. You know, I was just thinking that like if the directing was just like taking it like a little bit, like one step more, how much better it would be. A lot of really interesting side characters that I'm curious about. I like the cleaning team, I like the rooftop tenant, I like her brother and her father and the personal assistant of the male lead. Overall, I think this show is B level. Probably watch this one week to week, just like I'm watching Touch Your Heart and Romance is a Bonus week to week. Those are better shows, but still. I do hope that there's some surprises for us in the future, and I look forward to seeing where the female character goes. Also, the rooftop tenant. I think I'm gonna be getting some strong second male lead syndrome feelings with this show. That is everything from me. Those are my thoughts on the first 4 episodes of Clean with a Passion for now. Okay, have a good day, have a good night, bye. Oh my gosh, I just remembered something I wanted to talk about. Can you tell that this video is not scripted? One thing that I really disliked plot-wise with this show, the female lead does something to the male lead I really disagreed with for multiple reasons. On multiple levels, I really disagreed with this. For one thing, I feel like she should have gotten fired for it. It bothers me that she didn't get fired for it. It bothers me that she would do it in the first place, because the situation that spurs her to do this thing, I don't think is worth it. And for how long she worked to get that job, I'm shocked that she would let her pride drive her to do something that would put her job in jeopardy. And at this point, she already knows that she is now the sole breadwinner for her family. And so there's a lot resting on her shoulders. And I don't understand how this character, who is so hardworking and so mature, would ever do that to herself. Excluding the fact that she did that to the male lead, which is some sort of assault. She would put herself in that position. Do you get what I'm saying? If you've watched the show, put a little spoiler tag and then we can discuss it together, because I'm really curious to see what other people think of this situation, and I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Definitely affected the male lead. You know, he faints afterwards. He is hospitalized afterwards. Like, she should have been fired. And it also bothers me because it shows that it was just played for the drama of it. You know, like they wrote this scene in for the stereotypical soap opera, K-drama, rom-com drama, and that bothers me because it doesn't align with her character, because again, her doing this would put her in a position to potentially be fired. I don't think that this character would ever do that, because she's way too mature for that, and she just is way too hardworking, and I can't